Okay, now we're hopefully good to go. Just gotta wait for the beam thing to pop up, and then edit this, and then make this not unlisted, and then hit save. And now we should be good to do some track work in Beam, hopefully. We'll see. Figured I would start out at least here, assuming we're not dropping frames and everything's working out fine, which it appears to be. Figured I would start out at least. Yes, I think we're doing fine on the stream. So, step one I was gonna do is we will just go drive the track real quick, do a lap of the track, and see what all there is that I want to change, or see what problems we find. Since I've done a lot of work on this and I haven't actually timed a lap on it in a while, so I'm just going to use my live stream countdown thing here. I'll take about a minute off of whatever time I get when I finish all 3 laps, and we'll see where we're at. But I haven't driven a lap of this in a while. I need to time it out. I'm shooting for about 45 to 55 minutes to finish all 3 laps, and depending on how this goes, I may or may not need to make some more adjustments to the track to basically just adjust the runtime out to be where I want it to be. Okay, there we go. Should be good now. Don't know if anybody will show up, but I'm going to be sitting here working on the track anyway. I figured I'd do a live stream for anybody that's curious about how these get built. Not a suspension tuning expert, so it's a little rough for me, but I don't know if I need to smooth them out or not. I swear I need other people who are better at this than I am. I know there's a little bonus jump you can take here if you want to. It's nice and easy. Little tiny water splash, and there were a bunch of rocks here that I'm thinking of taking the rocks out of the hill here just so that lap 1 doesn't have any rocks in it anywhere. It's all dirt lap, but theoretically if you want to drive lap 1 in 2-wheel drive you can. Only need to do about 55 for the first little crossover into the toilet bowl here. I added a little bit more pop to this jump here too, so you don't have to hit that going as fast, and it's a little bit easier to get out of there now. This tabletop's pretty safe to hit full speed with any car, and this one you gotta brake check a little bit and shake to the right slightly into our first little sort of supercross section. It's just like in a couple on-offs where you hop off, hop on, let up a little bit to hop off smoothly, and then big old smooth corner. It's plenty of space to have multiple cars going wide in. Some pretty mildly aggressive whoops here. You come up over the hill. If you do it right, you can catch this little downslope here. If you run far outside, there's some aggressive stuff, but the start of these whoops is more mild on this side. These are some very aggressive car-sized rollers there. Continue on with lap 1. The hill here. A little jump to flat up the hill there, and under the first bridge, which stays smoothed out a lot. These used to be a lot, some pretty crappy looking piles of rocks with a shitty little spike in the middle of them to hold them up. Now I've got some buried concrete pipes to run under to make the bridges look a little better, and the bridges are like actually got dirt on top of them now, so it looks like a pipe that somebody pushed some dirt over. Got a couple bumps in this corner here to be careful on. I just got done adding a bunch of chalk lines here, and I gotta fix this because I already don't like the way this sits right here. This weird little peak to it right there I don't like, so we'll try and smooth that out a little bit. Just trying to put a little bit of a lip on here to help you get into lap 3. I at least got all that set up. And so, yeah, it's a little bit more clear about where you're supposed to go now, hopefully. And then I've got these lines here for the tabletop. If you hit the tabletop between these lines, you should be... Ooh, I don't like there's a little spike right here. I didn't like, and this whole corner needs to come up just a little bit. There we go. That's still like a little spike in there. I need to smooth out. So at least if you hit the jump in between the lines, it should hopefully run nice and smooth for you, since thing that makes me really angry driving other tracks in the game is if jumps aren't built right, they're not smooth right, or if jumps get built wrong, so every car that comes off them endos, or their radius isn't right, and stuff like that bothers the crap out of me. So I try to spend some time building mine so they actually run smoothly. With that, and then there's another little like double-ish thing here and a couple of loops before another big sweeping corner. One little drop down the hill here, and then we're on to the next part of the lap, which is corners sort of need to brake check for in this car since it's pretty tippy, and on this hill you do want to check up on it. You put warning signs everywhere on my tracks where you probably want to check up. There's our warning signs for it. It's another spot where if you don't get the slide down right, it's easy to catch an edge on your tire and end up on the roof. Come up over here, another big old bank corner. Warning signs though, because if you fly off that at full speed, you're probably going to wreck the car. You got to brake check a little bit, and a couple little rollers through some water. And then originally this was an open top crossover. Also, we actually have echoes now inside the pipe, so we've got that functioning, which is good. Got a bunch of rocks and stuff up here to remind you to stay on track. And this part's also, lap 1's just like wide open, high speed. I tried to, probably not super realistic track because nobody is ever gonna have this much space to build something like this. But yeah, I was focusing on something that was fun to drive. I care about, is the track fun? So I just try to make something that's fun. If your car is fast enough, there's a step up the hill. I do have speed limit signs, so like 55-ish is enough to clear that. You don't need to hit it wide freaking open. Come up the hill here, there's one little turn. Got some whoops coming up this hill. And this part I kind of like, because there's this nice big lake here. The other laps are going to run right through the middle of the rocks in the lake there, and as I get distracted, I'm going to slide off the track. Lap 1 is just a really big sweeping turn with some sandy whoops through the outside, and then if you're coming on lap 1, if you're brave, you get the option of sending it down the hill if you want to. And lap 1 and 2, I'm planning on sending up this hill and bypassing some of the rocks. Idea being lap 1 is all just two-wheel drive. Stuff you can do in two-wheel drive, it's just dirt. Lap 2 is going to have some like baby rocks that side-by-side can do, and then lap 3 is where I'm trying to put all the big boulders and more technical rock climbs that a side-by-side's probably not going to make it through. Kind of like this part too. There are speed limit. Oh, I am going to hit the container. Wait a minute. I just learned something. Did I? That's not supposed to happen. Grab this container here. And you go to edit. Where is it? Edit or object? No, it's edit. Rebuild collision. Save. So now... There we go. Now we can actually crash into that. And all the jumps that, if you hit the jump, it wrecks your car if you do it wrong. For everybody that doesn't want to bother to pre-run, I did put speed limit signs in here everywhere. So if you hit this at 65, you should... It's going to vary car to car, obviously, and based on suspension setups. But if we hit this at 65, it should hopefully, with most cars, 65 should put you in a sweet spot for the jump. I try to make all these so we're not super speed sensitive. So we want to roll off the tip at about 65, we roll off at 66, and there we go, just fine. Oh no, gap jump here. Oh, I know what I'm going to do actually, over here. I'll do it while I'm here, I'll have to time this later. And grab the... Oh, this is going to take a while to fill it in. The thing I wanted to do was fill all of this in with rocks. Encourage you to not roll it, or if you break your car and have to roll it, there's another penalty for rolling the thing. Just grabbing some random rocks to fill it in the space. I don't want to spend a ton of time on this because realistically, everything goes well. Nobody's ever actually driving on this, but there's some encouragement to keep your car alive enough through the track to actually be able to jump this part of it. Yeah, this is the one I need to rotate sidewards a little bit, and then throw it down here, and then like this, and then... I'll just put stuff there. That should be... Yeah, I'll do one more of them. Should be enough. I don't want to put anything here so if you case the jump slightly, it just absolutely totals the whole freaking car out. I don't think that'd be very fun. But there's at least some encouragement to hit the jump now. So if I'm coming down here, I don't want to, that needs to go a little bit lower so you don't clip that rock. Okay. We'll save that, and we'll come back, and we'll try and run that again. Walk that back to here. And the way I tune my cars for the tracks where it's speed sensitive, if I need to hit 65 on the lip of the jump, my gear, I'll just have a gear that maxes out at that sensitive speed. So let's walk that back since I didn't keep it centered there. So second gear with this car set up in this tire size should put me right in the happy spot. Yep, there we go. And this should be nice and easy to sail clean over those rocks, no problem. Perfect. Got some really aggressive whoops coming through here so that you kind of end up, not really tire tapping, but little bonk off the end there as you step down. And then this is a really, really big sweeping bowl turns coming into the end of lap 1. I've got some whoops I threw in the middle of the bowl turn and I'm not sure if I want to take out or not, like on this inside. I try to make the inside rougher than the outside so that the outside is not completely uncompetitive. So tabletop there. And this one I had this whole thing smooth because that's all just supposed to be easy set up for this, where you roll off that at about 80, you'll like land right at the tip perfectly smooth. It's a slight hip jump tabletop right there. And you come right back into the final stretch, or the final straight right now, where it's drag race out to the finish line, except you gotta get on the brakes because there is one last little, not difficult, but if you totaled your car and somebody's coming up behind you, you hopefully get past there for destroying your car. And now we're on to lap 2. If you hit that fast enough, you can step down into the turn, which I do kind of want to... I'm trying to think how to do this. So I'm not sure if I want to put a little lip there or just carry this back a little bit. I think I'll just carry this back a little bit more here. Turn the pressure up. We'll give that a try if we just take a little bit of a lip out of it. Actually, we'll do that. Turn the pressure all the way down. We'll come back here. We'll just, not much, but put a little bit of a lip on it. It's not much, but something to hopefully give it a little bit of, just a little bit more kick to get over that little tiny bump if you choose to send it off the finish. Well, off the start line, I should say. Yeah, there we go. Now it works. Under the spectators, we'll take the right side of this. These are mostly, I tried to put a split lane in here. Left side's probably better. If you get out of the, you get the whole shot, you'll probably be able to take the left side, but there's an option to go to the right if you think you're going to reel somebody in on a straight. There is at least another option. And then they meet back up before you come out this last bit of the starting stretch. Some sand rollers in the corner, if you're careful. Okay, just so I also don't really care for this here. I'm getting down to like just trying to smooth out little stuff like that where it just looked kind of jagged. There we go. And down the whoops here, or down the valley with whoops and all this rough stuff. Get on the brakes for this part of it, ideally. Easy to wreck the car there, and then about 50-ish puts you to the sweet spot of that if you want to jump it. Otherwise, rolling it's probably a bit of a safer play. Into the uphill here. There's a reason to brake check that, because then if you brake check that, it's a little easier to come up the hill cleanly. Some aggressive just speed check bumps. There's a speed limit sign back there, but if you go like 65 on that, you'll nosedive the car. So for people that don't read the signs, I tried to put stuff to brake check you in there. I don't know how well you can read the signs while you're driving, but if you pre-run one lap of it, the jumps are all pretty distinctly unique, and I have an easy time remembering them, so hopefully it's not that bad. Overjump that one a little bit, come into the Supercross-ish rhythm section. Brake check a little, off the hill. Try and take an inside line through here. We're going to cut wide, take the whoops crooked in a solid axle car, which is probably a bold move. Try and cut in a little tighter here. There we go. So very aggressive whoops. Yeah, Peyton, there is a version of this track that is in the repo right now. If you look up Heartland Havoc, you should find it in the repo. I think it's version 0.8 right now. I am trying to get it polished up since it's still morning and it's like already 80-something degrees outside and wildfire smoke. So, well, I can't do anything outside because it's too hot and full of Canada's cancer smoke. I figured I'll try and clean this up for a full release. Hopefully I'll get something. We can even still put stuff in the Beam repo, hopefully Monday or Tuesday next week. The 1.0 version is up. Just got these little rock bridges to go across starting lap 2. There's nothing too difficult, but I say as we almost enter the car. Didn't roll off that the way I should have. Put it back in high range here. And then we'll take the lap 2 rocks. Here is this car is scary and tippy. And they do have warning signs everywhere. Because if you hit these fast, you'll probably break the car. Not really supposed to be difficult to side by side can do them, but there's rocks. Trying to figure out if I need to put more filler in here or not. Lap 2 rocks are supposed to be pretty mild. There's a little bit of a drop off here into some pipes. What I don't like what I just saw here is this steel I don't care for. I need to pull this guy down and get him somewhere that makes more sense. Kind of want to throw some more rocks in here too. Trying to not put anything too difficult into here, but I mean something. A little something, something. And then we'll throw going medium with a medium 4. I think we can try and use to smooth this guy out a little bit right here. And this is why building tracks takes forever. A lot of these rocks end up needing to place like one at a time, and it's not a fast process to do. Push these guys together. If I can make it look like there's less of a seam, that would be cool. That's better. And then just in case somebody tries to go around it, we'll put a wall right here, so don't go around the rocks. Oh, you know what I should actually do? Do this. We'll put this guy in here like that, and tip him down a little bit, and then move it over here. So you can do that on that side, and then over here I will just go to miscellaneous. It's sitting in right now, maybe. Yeah, I think. Just put a concrete barrier right here to discourage you from trying to go around the rocks, I guess. I don't know. Going between that or just grabbing this noise tool here and trying to pressure up a little bit. Smooth it out a little bit here. And then we'll have to grab this decal and pull him down a little bit. No, that didn't work. What if I can do this? No, it's the opposite direction I need to go. Trying to figure out how to make this less shitty looking here. This way the stripe is going. Oh, that's not helping the case at all either. Dang, these decals never bend the way I want them to. Yes, we'll go with that. Okay. Back in the car here. Give that a test. Alright, perfect. That's what I was kind of hoping for. Couple more rocks, something not difficult, but now you can't slide through it sideways at 60 miles an hour. Again, this corner is where we need to brake check up forward a little bit because there's a drop. May have bent the tire out there, but we'll find out in a minute. Oh yeah, we're not driving straight anymore. That hit just bent the tire rods. It's fine. We're almost to the pits, I think. Yeah, we'll make it to the pit. Forgot my own warning sign for the hill. Dropped off that faster than I should have. Wrecked the car. So I don't think, like, for most of this track, I tried to build just to be fun and not technically challenging, but trying to go fast, there's a lot of opportunity to total the car, trying to go too fast or hit a jump the way you shouldn't or take a bad drop off. It's only as hard as you make it until lap 3. Lap 3 I started trying to be mean on. I just suck at driving right now, and I forgot how my own track works, and that's why I was having issues keeping the car in the lines. This one's kind of fun. If you get a good run into it, you can like almost step up the whole hill. There's a sign there to remind you 55 is the suggested max speed. Really, you can get away with less than that on a lot of car setups. Up the hill, don't traction roll on the side there. And then we're going to lap 2 now, so we'll come up this way. Oh, that's just disappointing. I don't know how to drive clearly. Again, this stuff was all doable in the side-by-side before. There's nothing that's technically challenging here. And then the punishment if you go off these rocks is you'll have some really deep water and probably drown the car if you try and just cut the corner here. There is an easier way to do this, but the fun way I like doing it is straddling the crack up with the axles, and then there you go. The last part of this section is pretty simple. Just climb up here, not too hard. And then there's a little rock here that kind of forces you to split a little bit, so there's a passing opportunity if there's another person that's in your way. There's an opportunity to try and sneak past somebody here. I just suck at tire placement, apparently. There we go. The right side is probably a little bit easier than this. You just want to take it kind of slow coming down here. And these will be the pits. I just noticed there was a really big bump coming in to get into that pit, so we'll try and smooth that out a little bit. And then I like outlining the bottom of these if we ever actually race on this. Hopefully it helps to have a very clearly defined pit area if we ever race here. Do that, and I need to find you become chalk line. Render priority, we'll make you 1 so you're on top of everything. And we'll just outline these pits real quick. Just copy these out so I can move them later. Plop 4 of them out. And grab decal, and we'll stretch it to there, stretch it over here. And we almost have a pit area defined. Just gotta finish lining these corners up, since if I see a corner that's off slightly, if it's off enough to notice it while I'm driving a car, it bothers me. There we go. We have one little pit box drawn out. Just gotta do that over here. And over there, line this corner up. Go. Alright, last couple corners to set up here, and then we got our pits defined a little bit better. I can't move too much. Alright, there we go. Pits are boxed out now, so it's very clear and obvious where those are at. Lap 2 is where I think I want to add some more stuff to, since lap 3 is what I've been building up. Lap 2 I think needs to be a little bit longer. Alright, up the hill. Brake check right there, which I think I know what I want to do here. I want there to be a brake check, but it seems like you can't really ever get on your brakes fast enough for this. So what we're gonna do is see if we can get a better angle here. Just sink this middle down a little bit. Smooth it out again. There we go, that should run a little bit better now, hopefully. Bunch of little changes like that. I'm trying to smooth everything out so it's actually more of a finished thing and not still needing a bunch of attention to details. We'll save that, we'll roll that back and try again. So, oops, I forgot to brake. Yeah, that's a lot less punishing now, that's better, otherwise it's straight to car destruction, which is not ideal some of the time. Sometimes it's deserved, but that one was a little bit too crashy for me. It's a fun little switch back there, up the hill, again, happy speed, it's nice and smooth. Don't have to jump it. This one you should jump. That one's easy, and then these guys aren't too bad, but if you come through them flying full speed, it can get rough. And this is where I can't figure out if I want to take these little jumps out of the turn or not, and just make these all perfectly smooth. Going back and forth, like this inside here, I try to put a little bump there, so if you take the inside, you gotta be a little bit more on top of your game to make it work out, otherwise the outside is smooth. This one I left super wide, so if you have a slower car, you can take it as wide as you need to if you want to hit the step up. And then it's really easy to hit that step up a little bit too fast, which one, you know, space to give you plenty of time to speed check yourself before you speed wreck yourself. And this is just drag race out to the finish. Not difficult, but there's enough rocks there that you can't slide into it at full speed. Try the right side this time. Drop down for... Oh yeah, that little bump at the top there is perfect now to jump down on your second lap. I think we went right last time, we go left this time. Use some relatively gentle whoops and hill. Bit of a G out there if you hit it too fast. Back on track here since I'm all over the place. I'm not good at keeping cars moving straight in deserty type stuff. Brake check this guy and we'll keep it to the ground instead of jumping it. Up the hill. Right side's probably a little bit faster there. Get the wheels back on the ground to keep accelerating. Again, 65 is a little faster. You don't need to go too fast to clear that. Big bowl turn to help any slower cars carry their speed so they can make it out of the toilet bowl. back into the supercrossy setup here. Brake, and don't break the car, don't break the car, don't break the car. To the hill. Might need some stiffer springs in the rear of this car for this track now. Cut over for lap 3. Oh, I don't even know what I hit that broke the car there. That's unfortunate. But the rock face, which again shouldn't be too difficult. Got one hill that's all rock, other one is sand with some rocks buried in it. And then we'll actually slow down for this and hopefully not end over the car this time. Yep, there we go. And laps 1, 2, 3 all come through here. And then lap 3 this time when we come around this corner. Brakes off to the right. Put her in low range because we got some rocks. And this is where lap 3 starts to get a lot more technical and probably not very side-by-side friendly. There we go. Making it up and over. And again, a little bit more technical here. It's trying to split off a couple of cracks there, so if they're trying to pass somebody, should be wide enough to fit a couple of cars wide coming down into this section. And then these bowlers are mostly just there so you can't carry a crap ton of speed into this and just ride up like it's nothing. You at least gotta sort of pick a line, hopefully not jump the entire thing in one go, but I'm sure somebody will find a way to do that. There's a hole there, and I might try and fill that in. I don't intend for that to be a gotcha right there. Let's see. Medium. No, that is a huge freaking rock. That is way bigger than it needed to be. Just filling a crack in. Fixing a bunch of little stuff like this at this point on the track just to make sure it's fair. Okay, it might still eat a tire right here, so I'll drop one more rock down into here. Put one more in here too, just in case this is also a sticky part. It's not supposed to be. That side's fine. We'll try it to make sure, but I think it's fine. I know some cars you can just go straight up the middle here and launch it. I can't with this one. This guy should, yeah, this one's not bad. That's nice and easy. And I tried to make this favor solid axle cars because the rocks are going to get pretty aggressive in a minute here. And there's a few options. You can go far left, you can go far right, or you can deal with this little crack in the middle here. If I have this car, the bomber, I usually just go right up the middle since it's not that hard with the bomber. And then this is the last section. Right side's a little bit easier and longer. Left side is a little bit shorter, but slightly more difficult. It's usually not too bad in solid axle cars, though. And steep drop off down the hill here. And you can get on the gas a little bit. I need to do something. I don't like, every time I roll off of that, I'm hitting this hill on the right here, and I don't like that at all. Dial that back a lot here. Just pick this all up a little bit. It'll guide the car into going somewhere a little bit less shitty. And we'll smooth the hill out a little bit so it's not as much of a jump. That should be fine. Hopefully that works out. We'll try that again. Roll the car back. And if anybody happens to tune into the stream and have ideas for what to add to the track or stuff to change, let me know. Part of the reason I'm streaming is looking for ideas. There's a split here where this side is maybe more difficult depending on the car. You just kind of got to get your front axle up over it, and it's easy to pull yourself up and over. Same deal with these obstacles on this side here. This is probably the harder way to go right now, though, but we're going to try it anyway. I'm trying to fix this side since this one's kind of foobarred. Likes to push the whole car to the right when it really needs to go left to make it over this. Yeah, so that's not too bad. I'll try the right side since I want... Idea is left side's the primary way you should be going. But put some arrows down here, maybe if I have arrows. Yes, we do have arrows. There. And then this is mostly just supposed to hopefully stop you from trying to like start over here then cut up to the side here. What I don't want people to be able to do is to start on this left side and then cut back over to the right and save time doing that, since that's not the intention at all here. So now if we come down here, should see these arrows here, and there we go. And then at this point, you get the option of cut left and do what we just did, or if you really want to hug right, you can hug right and drop down like that. But to do that, I need to probably flatten this out a little bit and put some walls on it. Here, grab this concrete barrier. Let's put these up here so that you can't go around it. Don't need people bypassing obstacles, that's no fun. Scale this thing evenly. So, oh, that's not what I want. I want this object. No, give me this object. There we go. I think that'll get the point across. Okay, you put another rock over here too, so you don't just come all the way to the right and skip this obstacle too. Let's see, large 7, yeah, we'll throw you in here. And that's going to keep just cascading down the hill until I eventually fill enough of this in to not matter. There we go. Like that. Now we're going to keep going down the hill with this. Let's see, is there this guy? Yeah, that might be what I was looking for too. There we go. Ideally, people don't go that way. The intention is to just come through here. And you probably can power down the hill, but there's some steep enough drops where not crawling it will probably go poorly. Just a few options to take to get up here. We'll try and take this one through the boulder garden here. Front axle up on top of the rock, and up we go, no problem. Same deal here, there's a bit of a notch here to fit the cars through if you need it. Another steep downhill thing with a couple of rocks. Pretty mild little hill here before you're out of them. And then you're out of the rocks and into the road gap. Jump over the other track, and now we're into the cave. And I did fix it, so wait for it. Ah, now we have cave sounds and echoing engines for being underground. Debating putting a yellow warning sign on this one. Warning sign here since it is steeper than it looks. There we go. One little warning sign. Just as a reminder that this one is a steep section, and we'll do small scale sign. Half scale sign. I have issues memorizing tracks personally, so I like having some warning signs where they're needed. Continue our journey through the cave on lap 3. As we drag the body panels across every rock in the cave. We tried to make this far right side smoother than everything else, so there's maybe a chance to pass and a reason to go all the way to the right here and just bypass the obstacle. It takes a little bit extra time to go make the extra turn, but there may be a chance to pass. Since the last version, this little hill here got a little bit easier on that first hill. This section, you just gotta make sure you carry momentum through it. It's not too bad. And then we start getting ready for the climb out of here, which, depending on car and driver, this could be a frustrating climb, but there's gotta be something that's hard on here, or else it's gotta be something that's challenging. Where, kind of like at least this car, I gotta put it in second or third. shoot up this first part of it. Once you get the wheels up that first part, there's a few ledges there, it flattens back out, so if you need to back up to get some momentum to hit something, there are at least a couple flat spots you can back up to if you can't crawl your way out of the whole thing. Like this. I usually don't have issues getting out of here though, so it's not, I don't think it's too bad. As long as you don't have a way too high tire pressure. Come back into the lake. And this is the other way to do this one, just crawl right up the middle. Already been through here, there's nothing too exciting, it's new. Same thing as before for that 3. There's a new section after this though. And that's what happens if you try and go too fast there. There are pits right there though, so at least if you break your car there is a spot to repair it there. Alright, this is where lap 3 gets a little different. Instead of going up the hill, now we're coming out this way. Got some warning signs, because this is where we get into some dirt fan trails. If you want to, you can almost double that if you have a faster car. Not technically challenging, but it's challenging to try and go fast without breaking the car, just because it's steep. Trying to favor some shorter wheelbase cars here. Up the hill. And then this pipe can be difficult if you don't approach it correctly. You kind of got to use these rocks on the edge for the easy way to kind of hold the front of the car up so you don't high center it. There we go. Down some concrete pipes and then down the downhill, which again, not technically challenging, but if you do this going fast, it gets steep, and especially here the car will get hurt if you try and go too fast through it. But not technically challenging. And then we got the spectator area here. To grab a couple more of these barricades here just so that I'm not a trusting person. We don't want people bypassing this pipe here, so drop that there. And we'll just put a rock on the other side of it here. Scatter some rocks out here. I don't know what I put this here for. Just, oh, that's covering something up. There's some weird stuff on the ground I was trying to hide. I don't know what happened, like the ground texture there did something weird, so my lazy way of fixing it was to just throw a couple of rocks over it, and then you don't see it, and then if it's out of sight, it's out of mind. Right? That's how it works. Spectator area, I don't think I need to change anything in. An undercut pipe here. Right into some more rocks. Opportunity to get on the gas a little bit before you come into one more little chasm section here. Try and get the wheels in the right spot to go up the crack here. There we go. Nothing too difficult here, it's just more steep dirt hills to try and slow cars down a little bit while giving you a break from the rocks. And then this is the last little obstacle here. The way I've had to do is crawl over the wide on the outside here. And then we're back out of it. And bonus, if you kept your car alive through the rocks, you can take the faster options through here that involve jumping it. I'm debating whether or not I want to add one more lap 3 rock section here or not. So I kind of like the idea of having this here, so if you keep your car alive through the rocks, your last reward on lap 3 is you'll be a lot faster through the remainder of it. Or I could be meaner and send lap 3 down into the qualifying course. Nah, I can do that. It'll be nicer than that. But this ride's around to the finish. Now I need to find, I think lap 2 I want to make a little bit longer, so I need to find somewhere to put some rocks into lap 2. Imagine we finish lap 1. Coming around for lap 2 now, where do we go? Okay, there's not really space here. Using that, okay, there's a bunch of space over here that's currently dead. Lap 2 comes like that, over that, and we cut back into here. I think I know it. I think I'm going to take lap 2. We're going to split lap 2 off. Yes, there is a way to put sounds in the spectators. That's one thing I'm going to do before I release it all. Like if I go into here and grab this thing and somewhere like this guy, unless there's already sounds of people clapping in here somehow. Waterfall. I don't know what it would be called, but so you can make it play engine sounds. Perfect, now it's just a horn. That is okay. That does weird things when I move. But yeah, I'll figure that out later. That'll be added. Oh shit, what was I doing? somewhere I was going to split lap 2. Oh, I know where it was. It was before the crossover here. We'll make lap 2 just be like a little gentle rocky hill climb that goes up, down, and comes back around here. That's what we'll do. After I pack this up a little bit more now. We're just doing the equivalent of packing everything into a closet and turning the other way, since I'm just dumping everything that's related to the racetrack into one little folder here. If I open the folder, it'll be an enormous scene tree, but if I collapse it, then it's more easy to manage. So, let's see, grab a decal editor, I guess, here. We'll make it 4 meters wide. And we'll pull it off there, up there. We'll just have it do the same thing, but we'll litter some rocks in there to slow it down and make it a little bit more aggressive, maybe. Just need to figure out how to merge the ends of it in, but we'll do basically just that. A little section that juts out so you can see the rest of the track, and it's hopefully easy to remember. Grab this flatten tool I think we want. And now we'll grab the smooth tool and pretend that this didn't just happen and make it go away. Grab the noise tool here and we'll paint a little gully up here we can pack full of stuff. And then we'll put a wall on this side too. Give you a little gully to climb back down and out of here in. Gonna have to smooth this out a lot when we're done here. That's all we'll just do. We'll start there and then we'll come back, smooth that out just a little bit. It doesn't look as gnarly. That's going to be a little off camera there, that's fine. Alright, we'll go with that. Now we need to grab this brush guy. Grab the dirt material we've been making a track out of here and crank that up. Give ourselves a road. And there we go. Now we have a path to follow. Some other dirt in here, maybe. Yeah, we'll use this dirt instead. We'll make this part dustier. It's like these borders where it gets kind of pixely bother the crap out of me. Okay, we got that. So now we come back to this guy. There, now we have track to follow. Bring the car over here, we'll drop our home point in, and then we'll give this a test run real quick. See if it's a good width. Make the gully a little steeper there. Put some rocks up here. Put some off-camber rocks down here. Come around. There we go. Okay. I think I'm good with that as a starting point. Just gonna make this a little bit taller here. And this is where it starts to take a long time to go through and pack it full of rocks. Start crapping rocks out in a way that looks like maybe it'll do something, and then we'll have to come back and revisit it later. Smooth it out and just keep playing with placing rocks until we have a hill climb that's doable with a side-by-side, but only just. Anybody that tunes into the stream and has ideas at any point, let me know and I can work on adding them. Open to anything at this point. You could scrap this collection of rocks here. Yeah, sure, why not? Water at the lowest point in the cave. Let me see where's the cave at? It's not loading in. Is it over here? Yes, it's over here. So the way that flows, maybe right in shit. I went through it. That looks like logical place to put the water is going to be right in this pool here. That's actually, I like that idea. I'm going to do that. Shit, is it this guy? I think this guy. Boop. Now we have water, but we have flooded out the entire map here, so we need to walk that back a little bit here. Don't need to flood the whole map with water, just this little pool area. That could make, that's a logical spot to put it, maybe. That's what you were thinking, Mr. Flapalop, I guess. So I shrink this down to something more manageable. And I think these waves need to be a little bit different, or not that wavy in a cave, right? Wave magnitude 0.5. Ripple magnitude 0.25. 0.4. And I need to figure out if there's a way to make this like bluer or something so it's easier to see. That do anything for me? I think I just made some very purple water. That's not what, I don't know what any of these things do, actually. Yeah, that looks like water, right? It's about there, maybe? I can't, it's hard for me to tell how high is like gonna hydrolock motors and how high won't do bad things. There we go, there's some water there. I'll have to come through and test that when we're done. And I was working on something for lap 2 that was over here. Yes. So I agree, if you flip in the water, good to shut your engine off. Only thing I am careful about adding water is if you're in a multiplayer server, cars like to get stuck together, or like some multiplayer stuff happens and Beam has a beam moment. It would be unfortunate to ruin your race and pull your car because some beam shit happened. Put some boulders and stuff at the bottom of here that, yeah, side by side I'll be able to get through that, but I'll have to slow down. My goal with lap 1 and 2 is to make it easily doable doable in the side-by-side. And then lap 3 is where I'm putting all the big boulders that are going to be real obstacles. Put that in there. More of these like little, oh, these are actually quite large. I wanted little ones. Yeah, like that. There we go. Give this hill a shot. Do something with the opening of it, and then you'll come into this gully, pop it down into low range. Yeah, it's not too bad. Alright, I like that. Trying to think of what to do with this starting portion of it here, since this is where I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do about this yet. Could just leave it as a super rough dirt and leave it at that. All mogully and stuff. And then it comes into these rocks, which shouldn't be too challenging. Put another rock over here, so it is still something to climb up if you try and bypass it. Let's see here. I don't know what to add.
Pushing our limits, can't see the break. Mud and metal, the roar of the beast. On this track we race, we never retreat. Adrenaline pumping, won't be outdone. In BeamNG Drive, we're always on the run. Racing through the dust, feeling the thrill.
Alright, got a few more rocks and I'll put a big boulder up here, so don't go wide, please, stay on track.
Twisting trails under canopy of pine. Each corner's a challenge, each leap divine.
I think that's a start to the hill there. And top here I don't 100% know what to do with. Unless I can see what this looks like if I just make this whole thing like a rock shelf up here. I don't know about how this is gonna look, but we'll see.
every hill in that off-road rush. We find our place, heartbeats synced with the race's pace. Racing through the dust, feeling the thrill from dawn to dusk, climbing every hill in that off-road.
I mean, maybe just try and make this whole thing into like a little granite shelf here or something, maybe.
With the race's pace,
And we can do one of these deals on the side. We'll just bring that hill out to fill in the back of this.
roaring engine sharp and loud, tearing up the dirt cloud. Gravel's flying, rocks abound, rumbling ground, wild and proud. No trees left, just hills of might, climbing up.
Alright, is that gonna be something?
Pure and bright, speeding fast like we're in flight. Dust and gravel in our wake, leaping over each race stake. Rocky paths with no mistake, pure adrenaline we make. Wheels burning over stone, not a place to stand alone. Heartbeats rhythm with the drone, winds our friend we call alone. Wheels burning over stone, not a place to stand alone. Heartbeats rhythm with the drone.
Kind of do that, fill it in a little bit, try and blend it into the hill.
Big jumps daring every turn, thrill and danger we
Put a big pillar in here to fill this corner in.
burn. No way back, no way to learn. Hilltops climbing to the sky, laughing as we reach so high. Never stopping, asking why, living only just to try. Wheels burning over stone, not a place to stand alone. Heartbeats rhythm with the drone.
Oh, that's something if I just carry that out more and put a little granite hillside in.
Dust and gravel in our wake,
Or is this too much now? I don't know.
mistake. Rocky paths with no mistake, pure adrenaline we make. Wheels burning over stone, not a place to stand alone. Heartbeats rhythm with the drone, winds our friend we call our own. Wheels burning over stone, not a place to stand alone. Heartbeats rhythm with the drone, winds our friend we call our own. We beat jumps daring every stone, not a place to stand alone.
Just need to bring this hillside up a little bit here, maybe.
Friend we call our own. Big jumps daring every turn, thrill and danger we all yearn. Heartbeats rhythm with the drone, winds our friend we call.
Wait for the terrain here to come up a little bit higher so it's less pixelated.
Thrill and danger we all yearn. Feel the engine hot and burn. No way back, no way to learn. Hilltops climbing to the sky, laughing as we reach so high. Never stopping, asking why, living only just to try.
It's kind of something-ish.
Climbing to the sky, laughing as we reach so high.
Just gotta drag this out a little bit longer before it feathers into nothing, though.
Only just to try. Wheels burning over stone, not a place to stand alone.
this maybe. And then bring the terrain up more here. I'm not sure about the top of that being as fat as it is right now, though. I don't think that was the right thing to use on the top there. Maybe another one of these guys. Just cover up the stuff on the top of this where it's kind of a broken-ish texture deal. We'll put one of these sheets over here and hide the evidence. Nah, not that one. About sheet one, maybe. I think this is, yeah, that's a better shape to cap this off with. Slide one little baby rock into there to plug that up a little bit. That's better, I think. I just need to like feather it out more on this side too. It's a little jarring as it sits. There we go. Slide it in. That way. Up a little bit more, and then we'll just back that guy into there. It's a little bit better. And it gives you a reason not to fall off the ledge up here, which now I need to smooth this out a little bit more. Simple little ledge there, and then I'm trying to figure out what to do with the rest of that. I might just make this rough dirt off camber deal going down the hill here, maybe. I'll try that first. Give it a break from the rocks or the side-by-sides and so on. Need some dirt and oh, that's the wrong guy. I want this dirt. Fill that in a little bit better. Smooth it out a little bit so it's not like jagged, pixelated. And grab one of these guys. Is this what yes, that's gonna be what I think it is. Perfect. Put a little rock drop in here. Smooth some of this terrain out a little bit to make that fit better. Alright, we'll give this a try now. Okay, so we're coming in. Going for lap 2 through here. Need to do something about that to make that work a little bit better. Got the rocks. Shouldn't be too bad. Well, actually, I guess what I shouldn't be doing with my for lap 2 instead of 3 is we should grab this guy. Oh, not that one. Grab the Arta, however you say it. Bone stock car with some suspension tuning. And make sure we can get through here with this guy. Just put it in low range. So I know with these you can't like rock crawl, you kind of just gotta be rock bouncer the whole way up the hill with these things. If I can make it up and in this, it'll be good enough for the big cars. I don't think it's too difficult if I can do it in this thing with my only damage being apparently losing the door. Try one more time here. Come on. Up you go. Yeah, it's not too hard. I got 0 damage up at that time. So I know we've got that. Off camber into the hill. One little rock drop. I'll put a couple little boulders in here down at the bottom, then we'll be good. So, this was a little rough and hard to see right here, though. Tip it forward just a little bit. Nah, it's too big. This should be easy, I think. I think the side-by-side will make it through. I'll put it up a little bit higher so it's got, so we don't immediately, high center. No, it would be high centering the side-by-side. Give it a little help, and then, one of these was bigger than the other. Leave a little present at the end. Might have to tip this rock a little bit more. think 2 and 3 were the smaller piles of rocks I can throw in here to try and smooth it out. I think this should be pretty easy to do. Nope, that's not one of this guy.
Engines roar, dust clouds fly, jagged rocks scrape the sky. Steel beasts on the plow, crawl and crawl, can't stop now.
What? Put, no, I want the big guy.
Jumps like mountains high enough, gravity laughs, says that's tough. Flying
Oh, I thought was this not like way bigger a minute ago? Oh, it is big. I just have to just bury. That's why.
feel the earthquake under tires. Hear the speed bird ignites fires.
One side of this is better than the other one for what I'm trying to do here. Make some rock visible so you're not coming into it at high speed expecting a smooth turn. That should be good. So, if you're having issues completing it, what car are you using? Because the other maps I put out shouldn't be terrible. Yeah, I've got 59,000 subs and nobody comes in my streams. It's because of a while ago it was more active posting different content, and then I had to stop YouTube to go work real jobs, and in the process of having to do real life stuff, my channel died while I was dealing with life, and now it's real life stuff is calming down a lot, and I've got more free time. I'm getting into Beam a lot to kill time when days like today where it's just kind of too shitty to do stuff outside. So I can sit here, and I liked playing MX vs ATV games in the past. I just never knew how to make treks for them. Yeah, if you're using the SP Rock Basher, that's why you're having issues, because that car is kind of a piece of shit. The default cars, and especially on track like this, those default cars are not gonna work worth a shit on at all. They're gonna be really, really, really difficult and not want to perform at all. You go on to Rough Country, you look up the Rough Country Crawling Patreon. Tom has a whole lot of talent and is making some really awesome, super detailed actual Ultra 4 cars for this. And with those cars, then you will have a good time, because those are what they built the tracks for, and those actually do rock crawl and hit jumps and like function and stuff. Alright, this should have used this grass more for the rest of this, because I think this looks better than the mostly dead looking other grass. The bomber is not horribly fast. It's one of the faster cars in there now on flat ground, but it also rock crawls super well, and that's what there are people with way more skill than me that can take the independent suspension cars and do all kinds of things with them I could never dream of. So because I know of other people that one day might race this track and be way faster than me, I try and build everything so that I can crawl it with the bomber, and then somebody else will figure out how to get the fast cars through it. Spectators, oh, it's facing the turn in the track, like... Trying to think of where to, like, I don't know that there's space for one in here, actually, because I've got a lot of shit going on. Let's see if it fits. Restand. So maybe there's space to put it, but Not that anything else in this map really makes sense, but it's putting a giant thing of stand on the outside of a turn, which is usually not where you want to be standing, because that's usually the death zone. But it might be able to fit in here nicely, though, as one of these guys. We'll put the bridge over here to flatten this out a bit. We can drop a bridge down in here. If you look up Reckless Racing on Patreon, they have a whole racing series going right now that lots of smart people have done neat stuff where like they have timing systems that'll penalize you if you wreck your car, so it lets you race head to head and times you, but also doesn't let you take resets every time you without huge time penalties. Does it make sense to put that here or over here? Or both? I don't know. Up at the top where both laps make the turn. Oh! Up at the top where both laps make the turn is another chunk of lap 3. This is, at the end of the day, this is not a huge map, and I'm packing an hour's worth of driving into not a lot of space here. I could flatten something out here, though. This might be a good spot if I flatten this out and put a spectator stand thing like up here, maybe. Could try and put a footbridge in here, though, so you're going past some spectators on lap 2 at least. And then if you were standing here, you get to see that. You can see the crossover jump from there. You can see the entrance to the cave. You can see people coming in and doing this whole obstacle chain. Maybe this might not be a bad spot for one too, so I'll try and throw this in here. Stop that, and then we need to grab this, and I need to set the height. Grab the height picker, and goes right about there. Flatten this out so that this thing's not floating in the air anymore. At some point I'll have to go through and I'll try and figure out how to add like spectator sounds for all this, so when you drive past you hear people clapping, or I'll make people, at one of them I'll find somewhere to make people boo you as you drive past. Yeah, it's what, once I'm done building this, a couple extra things into the lap and smoothing it out, I'm trying to figure out how to make it look less shitty, I guess. Smooth this out too, it's a little rough right there. Put a bridge in here, and then we'll pull in my very suspicious looking spectators that I definitely didn't steal from another map. Hopefully rotating these guys one way makes them not super dark. What's this one? 76.161. That's not the way I wanted it. Can I do that? If I tip them, do they get brighter? No. So we'll have to... Is this one gonna work? That's better. Nobody's gonna look that closely at them while they're driving, right? And then, like, notice we've got some guy that looks like kind of Indian Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. Nobody's gonna look that close. Is this Kevin from The Office? That looks like Kevin from The Office. Definitely not suspicious stock photos. Is that row? Okay, it was row 2. Is this one gonna work any better? Yeah, that'll work a little bit better. Pull it back. And drop them down onto the bridge and try and move them kind of close there. And yeah, there we go. Grab these guys and slide them both in the middle of the bridge here. And if you're at a distance, it's like passable for spectators from a distance, which is all I'm really going for, because I'm trying not to load it up with a bunch of crap that's going to slow computers down. No, no, they don't. They are people in suits, but I don't know how to make objects, and this is something that was used somewhere else. I was able to grab and throw into here. There's probably a better way to do it, but these are also 2D objects, so it's not gonna. What I'm trying to avoid doing, and I don't personally want to do, is it would look neat if there were like 3D people here that were standing. But what I don't want to do is clutter the outside of the track with a bunch of extra 3D objects. So now, if you ever do a Beam multiplayer race, if you have like 5 to 10 cars in your server, I'm trying to avoid throwing a bunch of extra 3D objects for it. So now your computer is, in addition to trying to render all the cars and everything else going on, it's trying to deal with spectators when they're not even part of the track. So it looks janky, but at least it should be minimal impact on performance if you have a bunch of other cars in the game and your computer is anything like mine, or it seems like most people that do the multiplayer races where computers just start singing really loud when there's a bunch of cars they're trying to load. Okay, so you'll drop down through there, we'll come into there. And this area is where I think we can flatten this out and chuck some stands in up here. To grab the set height tool, we'll go, yeah, right about there, why not? Put some stands, I can go down a little bit more than this. Smooth this out. Right after I got done doing that, I'm going to come back here and do this again. And we'll grab the paintbrush tool, we'll just make this. I'll just dirt up here. And we'll go steal some other race stands from somewhere else on the map I can copy. I just saw a decal floating in the air, and now I moved away, I'm never going to find it again. This is a prefab, no it is not perfect, so the annoying part of this is going to be doing this. So I'm actually going to be very surprised if I can grab all of these without having other problems. Oh wow, this might actually be super not a pain in the ass to do. Copy? Yeah, it actually worked, sweet. That's going to make this a lot easier. And where did I just flatten a huge chunk of the track out at? It was over here, it was right here, perfect. Just want to flatten this out a little bit more so they can actually see the turn there. Bring them a little bit closer. And we'll make the second one of them. Just right there. There we go. Alright, now I do need to clean up my row structuring here, unless that happened to pack everything back down nicely where I want it to go. And hey, it actually did. So this needs to go into the folder that just says Scenery Pack. We'll hide that in there so we don't have to look at that again. And then we'll fix the terrain around here so this actually sort of fits, kind of. Blow some more of this hill out so we can see. Put some space behind here to drop some campers and other stuff into it. And then we'll grab this tool, we'll crank the smoothness up, and we'll just make the seam go away. Keep this over here. It should pick the ground up on this side of it more to smooth it out. Sure I don't hit some other part of the track while I fix this. Just do that, and like it didn't even happen. Except right there. Now it's like it didn't even happen. Do that. We'll save this, and while we're doing scenery stuff, we will come into. I think I have a tent in here I stole from Johnson Valley. Yeah, this guy. Put a little tent back here for some more decoration. It's floating though, so we're gonna have to move it over to the flatter ground. And then we'll drop a semi-truck behind here. I want truck.dae. No, I want the trailer first. And, oh no, I ran out of AI generated music again. Whatever shall I do? My uncopyrightable background sounds. Thank you, Congress, for at least doing whoever. At least the US AI stuff can't be copywritten, so you can't get struck for it, theoretically. Grab tent, do this and pretend it's a vendor. Okay, let's see, we have 106 point, we'll call it 106.8. Call you 106.8. Brig. 106. 180 minus 106.8. That's not what I wanted. I need 0 minus 106. No, that's just negative 106.8. Shit. I can't do math today, so we're just gonna stick it on there. My brain is too fried. Ultra 4 fans look like average Alabama people. So you're saying everybody is sister cousins? Alright, now we can just pretend that this is like a shop or something. Put a motorhome up here. Don't worry about how it got there. Nah, we should actually we'll put try some normal trailers there. And well, there's a semi up here. It's not going to be any less believable than the motorhome. At some point, I might go through like I did on Base and Brawl and try and build roads to all of these things to make it look a little bit better. But there we go. We have a semi trailer. Every single fan needs a... Yeah, it needs to be like Far Cry. If you can make them throw beer cans at you while you drive past, that'd be perfect. Yeah, don't worry about how it got there, but it's there now, and that's all that matters. Put a couple campers back here just to have them. Put this guy over here too. All the little campers can watch the race on the TV if they're back here buying stuff. And, I don't know. Does this make sense to put back here? Probably doesn't. Put a truck in the tent. No shitty camper trailer out here, maybe? I don't know. Race Ops is back here running out of a couple of trailers. Yeah, it's a little bit less empty there now. And grab a tent gazebo thing here and drop one of these down in here. It's already a lot of white. Sure, I'll grab another yellow one. So I don't think I have any yellow ones on the horse anywhere for anything. Yeah, there's some stuff there. It's not empty now. There we go. Definitely need to do something about this hill over here now, though. I've got it. We'll just pick this. Oh, this is way too much. That's why it's going so fast. Just pick this whole thing up, and this will just become slightly off camera going down the hill here now. That's fine. If I just make this a cliff face, just make this all rock. There we go. It's just a cliff face now. Problem solved. That's fine, right? That doesn't look like complete ass. Totally not. Okay. I don't know. It's too jagged. Trying to think of what I can do about this situation. Oh, I know what I can do, actually. I don't think I'm gonna like it, but we'll see what happens if I grab you, set height. What if this hill just changes a little bit, and instead of a smooth drop off, it's a couple rolls. At least until we're past the bleachers. Okay, I'm not sure. I don't know about this. This might be a terrible idea. We just do this, we'll smooth the transition out at the bottom. That's a little less jagged there now. Okay. Maybe I'm getting somewhere. What if we take these signs now, slide these over this way more? Do that, and then take this raise height. Oh, that's a bit much. I moved the wrong slider. If we do this. Just make this whole thing a little bit less smooth, a little bit less high speed. That, we'll see. Slow that whole section down to see how that runs. Okay, we'll try the upper section first and see how that runs now. It was previously like all high-speed lap 1, but let's see. Okay, I think that's fine. That wasn't bad. I just need to get back to the start of that and try this again. A chance this time. Yeah, like this bomber is gonna work a lot better for you than that SP Rock Basher ever will. Only for rock crawlers? Probably not, since there's already plenty of maps out there that only do crawling, and I know plenty of people are working on stuff that's going to be a lot cooler for that. But at least for stuff that's easily available and easy to find, and I have fun with, as far as I know, there really isn't anything else in the repo or anywhere you can download that's like not from an official source that does like rocks and go fast stuff like this, as far as I know. Should probably grab some more of these guys and some rocks out just a little bit further this way more.
Staring every turn, not a place to stand alone.
And lower this all down just a little bit.
Dust kicking on a fresh built trail. Fire spinning like a wildfire tail. No trees to block the view.
Okay, there we go. I grab a smooth tool at very low pressure just to try and make some of this a little bit less jagged.
Stealing dirt, make a wild deal. Heartland Havoc in the wind. No rules, just the thrill of the spin. Push the pedal, feel the roar. Take this beast to the core.
I think there's also a bulk here I didn't really care for. And then up here somewhere, is this the one where, yes, try and smooth that out just a little bit. Okay. Yeah, there's already lots of maps out there for rock crawling. There's not a ton that does go fast and crawling in one setup. Definitely the way I'm building this, there's nothing like this currently, is where I'm trying to put everything into one track. So there's short course stuff, there's whoops, there's jumps, there's rocks, there's berms, there's desert stuff. It's literally every possible form of off-road racing packed into one map, and ideally you want to find one car setup that'll do everything. Makes it... we're on our roof already in first person. That went about as well as I thought it would. Let's try that again. Try a gentler foot this time. Oh, no, 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 no! Why am I in fourth? I thought I was in first. How did I end up in fourth? Oh, my transmission was shifting itself automatically on me, and that's why I kept ending up in higher gears. It apparently bumped a key for that without realizing it. So now if I just put it in first gear and slow crawl it, can I just point and shoot up this? That's better, now that it's not putting me in fourth gear when I want to be in first. What am I hitting here that's... something here I don't like, the car is like bouncing into a rock hard or something. This needs to be a smooth transition. That should hopefully run better. There we go, now it's not hitting a wall directly. A little bit off camber, and then we'll click up the fourth for the hill here. Down to first for this again. This, I think we can just drive straight over it. Yeah, that's not bad. Alright, one more time. See if we need to put anything else in here. Yep, this is really live. I figure as long as I'm going to sit here and try and build and put a lot of work into my track today, I may as well stream it. Let's get that. off camber a little bit, and then a little rock drop. Okay, I don't like, that's what I didn't like after the rock drop there. This little thing needs to be smooth on the way down. I don't like that at all right now. Or at least needs to be less aggressive of a bump. That was getting annoying. Come onto the spectator stands, into this last little turn here. Just basically anything should be able to drive straight through that, no problem. Aw, thanks Edwin. Hopefully you like them. If you see stuff you want to change, let me know. At some point I need to build a time trial for this, but I'm not going to set up a time trial on this until I'm absolutely certain I'm done changing the track. So, do I want to put rocks or anything else in here? Trying to think if anything else needs to get added before that rock climb. A little gatekeeper rock or something at the front, maybe. Good way to spend my morning coffee. It's noon here, so. Do this, we'll rotate this guy around. Drop it down a little bit, and this will be a little divider rock, and we'll have like a couple pinch alleys to climb through right at the start here. It might be a little too tall for this, but we'll see what happens. Nah, I don't like that one. Let's just stack a couple other rocks on this side. Favorite of the ones I made so far, I probably have, well, the very first one I have in the repo, I didn't spend a ton of time on. It's really shitty in comparison. It won't let me delete it. I want to say this one's my favorite because I've by far spent more time trying to put this track together just because it's a lot longer, and if I can find the damn cave. Like, well, I don't know where I'm from. This damn cave took way too long to, it's still like, I still want to do something about it, because I don't fully like the way it looks inside, but putting this cave together took forever, because each one, like, it's building this whole freaking thing, like, a few pieces at a time, so this whole cave is a goddamn mess inside of it, because it just took forever to put that together. And I spent way more time on this, but the base Umbrella UTV track I have the most fun on, just because I like the way that one ended up. I think there's a good mix of turns and jumps, and the pacing of the track I think was good, and it flows really nice, and it's a lot of fun. I probably enjoy that one the most. This one is taking a long time to do because rocks take forever, and I am still trying to learn how to make rock sections that like aren't just annoying to drive through, and they're actually... Yeah, rocks are hard to do in Beam, get them right. Just like flip this guy around, we'll put a slightly longer divider in here. Make everybody choose which way they want to go. be a little different each way.
Dust clouds rising, engines roaring loud. Metal beasts climbing rock trails proud. Hill steep and high, no trees to block the view.
Some more of those tiny rocks scattered in the ground before this. Trying to get it to run about 45 minutes to an hour for a full-length lap of everything on this track, so just trying to pack a lot of stuff into a little bit of space. Yeah, there's like that's the reason I started. I liked playing a lot of like MX bikes and MX versus ATV stuff, and a lot of people made wild custom stuff for that. I could never figure out how to make tracks for that. I eventually figured out how to use the Beam, how to make stuff in Beam, and I enjoy being able to turn weird ideas in my head into something I can actually play on. And if it helps get any more views on my channel, great. If it doesn't, at least it's sharing stuff for anybody can grab it and go play it, and it'll be there for hopefully a very long time to enjoy in the future, because there's not a ton of content like this for Beam. Certainly not in the repo and nowhere available for free. There's nothing like this at all that I was able to find, at least until I started making my own. There we go. A little bit of space to get back on the gas, but you can try and do this. We'll pick this all up a little bit. Nope, that was way too aggressive. See how this runs now. It's like even just doing little sections like this, the only other reason I was doing the stream is if anybody's ever curious, just to show how long it takes to make these things. Like, this is supposed to be lap 2, these aren't supposed to be difficult rocks, but it's something that's not just flat dirt. So ideally a I'll try it in the side-by-side after I drive it again in the bomber. It's not bad. Over the rocks here, it's pretty easy. Oh, that's so much better now I smooth that out a little bit. And just like that, you're back into going fast. Trying to figure out how much I want to carry these rocks out further or not, and I'm not sure. the rocks in here, I guess. Alright, there we go. Try driving that in the side-by-side now and see how it goes. Plain Jane, bone stock, side-by-side, just a little bit of suspension tuning. See how it does. Hope again for this track is lap 1 is two-wheel drive, like trophy truck friendly if you want to do that. Lap 2, side-by-sides hopefully able to do. Wow, I suck at driving this thing. Oh, hey, weight reduction. Right, let's try taking the left side in this now instead. I can't get the clutch to engage. Okay, we made it through. We'll call that success. The rest of this should be doable as it was before. Okay, we're gonna at least give it a better fighting chance, see if it goes smoother if we grab it on a set of 35-inch tires now with Meal's lug converter. Give it a slightly better chance with a little bit more ground clearance, but still using only stuff that most people probably already grabbed out of the repo at this point. Oh wow, see how much easier it is if you have 35s instead of 30s? Not even a scratch that time. Yeah, all I did with this was a little bit of... I think I stiffened up the spring rate a little bit, because all of the maps I make are at... The Reckless Race Series runs at 12 gravity, because people like that feel better, so all of my maps come out where the gravity is by default set a little bit higher on all of my maps, because it makes the cars behave a little bit better through whoops and stuff at high speed. So if you grab one of my maps and you don't have a car tune for it, you might need to at the minimum, put on a stiffer spring rate because the car is going to weigh a little bit more if you don't change the gravity back yourself. But the off-road race series I participate in online, everything's at 12 gravity, so for the sake of not having to, at least the way I play Beam, to tune my cars consistently, I released all my maps set up the same way. Get back on the wheels. Actually, I don't need to change this too, because usually it's better to have a selectable run and a locked rear. But anyway, yeah, at 35s this is not a problem on with the UTV. Not that hard to get up here. This, no shit, that's not going to be hard. This really shouldn't be a problem because the wheelbase is so much shorter than the big cars. Yeah, rock drop, not a problem. Come into here. Hopefully this is still not hard to do. Once the clutch decides it's ready to engage. Yeah, it's not too hard. We're good. My door is just flapping a little bit, but we're good. How many hours do I have in Beam? Probably quite a bit, since I've definitely forgotten, like, going to sleep with the game open a few times, and especially making maps. As you're probably seeing, just building that one little rock section when you're building maps, it's a very slow process to make maps in Beam if you want them to not be complete garbage and actually drive in a useful way. See what happens when we hit this jump with the side-by-side. water skip it. Yeah, it's not an issue getting up the hill on the side by side. Got my nice little speed limit reminder that probably don't want to hit this faster than 55. 50 is probably fine. And there we go, down the hill. Okay. Pull steam up. It doesn't tell me how many hours I have right now, and I don't know why. Oh, 345 hours in Beam. Jesus Christ. Let's try doing it with this car, actually. Is this taillight already broken out for me? It's funny if it is. Put it in low range. Yeah, actual 4400 car, no problem at all. You got 1,028 hours in Beam, jeez. 170 something hours right now. Ow. I guess it all depends how long you've had it. I've only been playing Beam for a year now, maybe. I didn't start making tracks until a couple months ago. It's been out around for a while. Yeah, I'll come back and I'll learn how to drive smooth later. Through this last little thing here. Yeah, that's not hard. Let's get back in high range. Oh, it is looking scary outside by me right now, and I don't like that. Got some weather coming in. Bronco? Oh, wow, this thing almost actually jumped up the hill. Could be a bit smoother or wider. This is only a very small part of the track. Trust me, it gets a lot wider. And the reason it's supposed to be, I try to make it rough in some spots, is to give everybody a reason to tune their suspension, because a good suspension tune makes a world difference in the smooth. Yeah, I can't speak. If you have a good suspension tune, the whoops just kind of go away with good suspension. Terrible at driving through rocks, and I know going to the right's the easier line to take here, but I want to do this way. If I could get the car to bite, that'd be great. Into the Echo Cave. Did add a warning here because this looks like something you could hit quickly, but every time I've tried to hit this wall quickly, it doesn't work out. Just need to find the right line to slow crawl it. Find the traction, or we don't find the traction and I get close to rolling again. Ah, dang it. Yeah, I'm trying to build this track so if we ever do run a competitive race on it, the people I play Beam multiplayer with are all pretty good about tuning their car and thinking about it. And if you build a map that's scaled to work with default suspension setups, it's just not going to be fun with actual off-road cars and actual tune stuff, because everything's just going to get way too easy. This I am going to change a little bit, because this car is just straight up not even making it, and this was not supposed to be that hard of an obstacle. Got some thunder outside. Wait till I lose power and frickin' lose everything I'm working on right now. That's probably what's going to happen. Sink this rock down a little bit, smooth the approach out just a little bit. So now, if we are having issues before, and we can't slow crawl it, it's probably a little bit easier to bump it up and then not have a traffic jam in here. This car also just doesn't climb worth a shit. Up you go, come on. There we go. Alright, and this is the part where we see if this water is gonna be too deep or not. Oh. Okay, that could be much deeper. Grab that water block, and up you go. Go right about there-ish. At a happy level. Even with the car upside down, still not drowning it. Guess we can make it taller. As long as I'm not, like, shooting water out the back here, which I don't think I am. That should be fine. Though the ripples are, like, going way too fast now, and I need to figure out how to slow those down. How do I slow the ripples of the water down? It still just looks like they're moving, like, way too fast. I am gonna take a 5-minute break, so I've gotta go move some stuff outside, because there's a big storm rolling in right now. I'll be back in a couple minutes here. Just need to go make sure some stuff doesn't get ruined. I will find a good spot to leave my car to make it look like a cool shot while I'm gone, though. Okay, I am back now. We had to go move some stuff around to... Yay, thunderstorms. Okay. I will go for a timed lap of the full track now and see where we're sitting. Oh, I need to add the... flag so we know which way we're going. Flags, I think I put it under. Yeah. So we'll put lap 1 over here. Alright, and then we'll put lap 2 and 3 over here. So we need to go to lap 2 and lap 3. If lap 3 is the rock lap, we're sending lap 3 through the rocks on this one. I think you come down this turn, you cut over this way. Should be pretty obvious which way the flags are going. You're on lap 1, you just don't go through don't take rocks on lap 1. That's how like every race always works. Okay, now we can go try and run a timed lap here after I think I need to grab both of these, and at least what I've been doing everywhere is when tracks meet back up, I put all of the flags along them so that it's very obvious, yes, this is the way you go. So, call that negative 40.314. They're all rotated the same. I'm just going to kind of try and line them up. It's going to be a little iffy over here, but we'll try. There we go. I like doing that when it lines up, so at least you know which way you're supposed to be going. At least it confirms that, yes, every single lap is going to run through there. Okay, now we'll try and do a timed lap here and see what kind of run time I'm going with. Bring it on over here. Actually, I forgot I was nice to myself and I actually put a spawn point in here. So you can actually just hit this button and boop, you're back at the start. Okay, so I'm gonna look at my stream time and I'm gonna use that to figure out what my lap's gonna cost me time-wise here. Let's see where we're at. What are we at for 2 hours and 42 minutes? So we're at, I'm gonna make a note of this for myself. 2 hours, 42 minutes, and 30 seconds is when I will launch the car. Alright, we will compare our time when we come back across after 3 laps and see what we're at. Oh, there is a kitty that is getting sassy. Probably should have been in second for a lot of that, but oh well. Down the hill. Hey, kitty, stop that. Stop smacking stuff on my desk, kitty. Okay. Oh no, oh no, oh no, I steered when I shouldn't have, but okay, it looks like we kept the car together. Fastest way up there is definitely to brake check at the right time to get the front end back down. 58 should be plenty. Yeah, there's the track goes between it. The short course stuff is like all perfectly smooth as you might expect, sliding sideways through short course. The quote-unquote desert stuff that's really more there to test your suspension setup is obviously going to be rougher, because if it was smooth, you could drive a rally car through it. I think this corner is going to be smooth, and we're going to come into some whoops. Which can be very bad if you choose to hit the brakes at the wrong time, apparently. And, yeah, I don't want to do what I just did. Right, lap 1, we're taking the go fast section for lap 1. Should have brake checked that a little bit more aggressively than I did, but car's still alive, we're good. Careful with the bump in the corner here. Lap 1, we're taking the tabletop. Fix that hill so that's less aggressive. Lap 1, lap 2, we're bypassing the rocks on that lap. Lap 1, we're again skipping the rocks for lap 1. You know, this corner is a little bit rougher and not as wide open as it was before. Red flags for a warning here. Tunnel, doing good. Haven't had a major incident yet. I am much smoother at this in the IFS cars than the solid axle car, but since I'm testing and tuning rocks, I tried to use IFS cars for testing the fast stuff and solid axle for testing the rocks, so that hopefully it balances out. Bypassing the cave for lap 1 and 2. Again, skip the rocks on lap 1. Okay, we got a little bit too sunny on the hill. Getting into more of the smooth stuff. We're getting close to the end of the lap one here. Over the rock pile. And some more whoops. Speed management is kind of important there, so you don't get out of control like I kind of sort of did. Try and take this inside again. You gotta be brave to do that and get the jump just right. It's faster, but also a lot riskier because you catch an edge under your tire, it'll flip the car. And again, I grabbed the brakes when I shouldn't have, landed on the front axle with it locked up and just folded the axle. Solid axle things you gotta be aware of. About 78, 80 puts you right at the sweet spot for that guy. If at 242 it's 249. No, we'll see. I'm curious what the fold. Curious to see what the lap time will work out to be for all three of them. Alright, going out for lap 2. Brake checks, we don't fault the car again here. I'm really surprised they didn't just roll the bomber through that sideways in sand. Usually this car does not like that at all. Trying not to jump that one, but we did anyway. As long as you keep the wheels spinning when you're sideways, it seems like you won't traction roll it, but if your wheels, you run out of torque and your wheel stops slipping, then you will roll the bomber pretty easily. Needed a brake check there. Oh, my parking brake is stuck on, that's also not helping me. I think, yeah, 65 is a bit fast for that. This is Tom's bomber from the Rough Country Crawling Patreon. There's all kinds of Ultra 4 cars on the Rough Country Crawling and BDR Patreons. I've been building rocks today and adding on to rock section, so I'm using the solid axle car to test for scaling rock section difficulty. The IFS cars will be much faster in all this open, short coursey stuff. Step off. Into the whoops again. You gotta remember not to stab the brake and land on the front end. Gentle with it to keep the car alive. Oh, this car is it's a bomber. It's a Bomber Fabrication 4400 unlimited race car. It's a ultra core race chassis that's in the real world. If you look up a Bomber Fab car, you'll see it in real world. Won King of the Hammers a few times, and they're very, very good off-road race cars in the real world. It's one of the newer things Tom put out, and Tom at Rough Country Crawling does amazing work on the cars, and if you like off-road stuff in Beam, you should go subscribe to his Patreon, because for $3 or $5 a month, whatever he asks, he deserves it. He does amazing work, and if you're into off-roading in Beam, you should go buy his Patreon, because Beam wouldn't be Beam without him. Off-roading in Beam would not really be a thing without Tom there. Because there really aren't any other cars like this that actually work. It's on Patreon. Come on, get it. This rock face has never given me issues before. There we go. don't know why I've like literally never had issues with that hill before. And we gotta go slow down here so we don't end on the car. Tight turn. Back into high range, and we'll continue on with lap 2. Yeah, off-road racer is correct. There's very few people that make everything off-road and Beam actually worth a damn, so they deserve your support on Patreon. These pipes are a lot rougher than they look because there is no give to them. This little canyon. Moving on with lap 2. Almost forgot I just built the section. I was about to go up the hill, and I completely forgot we literally just added this in for lap 2 and 3. I'm not sure what you're asking me, Andy. Go up the hill. There we go. That was smooth down the rock. Alright. Should be easy through here. Back into high range. Tell you, the car is Tom's Bomber Fab, Bessie. It's on the Rough Country Crawling Patreon that Off-Road Racer was just telling you to go to. It's on the Rough Country Crawling Patreon page. The map is going to be... This map is, if you look up Heartland Havoc, it's in the video title here, and it's in the repo right now. This version of it will be in the repo sometime next week, because it's thunderstorming and crappy and smoking outside from It's somehow thunderstorming and smoky from wildfires outside right now, so I figured I'd do this today. And try and get my track finished. Thank you, Edwin. Oh, I forgot we're on that too. We gotta go this way. These rocks are not hard at all here, especially when you have a car that isn't like the stock SP Rock Basher, because the stock Rock Basher is terrible. It's got the turning radius of a football field. Oh no. Come on, find some grip. Pull yourself through, please. Please. Yeah, there we go. There we go. And we gotta go kind of slower. You'll flip the car coming down here. Or you'll just do that anyway. It'll be that. I'm debating trying to fix that so it's a little bit easier, but it's not that hard if you pick the right line. Alright. Continuing on with lap 2, we'll skip that lap 3. We'll move up here. Yeah, everything on the Rough Country Crawling page is insane. It takes a while when he's working on cars, but the quality is absurd. Also, if you ever watch King of the Hammers, there's a little thing for you there if you watched King and Hammers last year. But the quality Tom puts out is insane. Like, it's super, super detailed, and they're very, very, very good. For mods, they are better than a lot of the stock vehicles in the game. For a mod, it's insane. He's super talented. Try and time that right so we can get down the hill smoothly. And we're getting ready to start coming back around to begin lap 3. I've got a feeling my 40-minute estimation is going to be pretty far off here, though. $76? Okay. That's why I smoothed that one out a lot, so it's casing that's a lot less punishing now than it was before. I can't help you with Beam technical support, unfortunately. I know how to make maps, and that's about it. If you have glitches in Beam, I don't know anything about that. Alright, on to lap 3. Try and hit the step down here again. Broken tire. Broke both drive shafts that time. Sweet. Alright, lap 3 is probably going to take a little bit longer, so we'll see. Keep it on track. It looks different from the previous one because this is... I don't know which previous one you're talking about. The version I have in the repo, I have done a lot of work to this since that got uploaded. And if my previous one was like either Basin Brawl or Bluff Bash, it looks different because it's a wildly different track than those two were. Those two I was still learning. My first Ultra 4 track was really crappy and I was learning a lot. Then I made Bluff Bash, it was a little bit better and I learned a lot on that. And then I made Basin Brawl to have a little short course flowy track, and I really like how that one I still need to figure out some stuff to do to finish it up, but it flows really nice and I have a lot of fun with it. This one I'm trying to make a much longer and better track than the other ones were. I'm trying to pack a lot more into one map on this in a relatively small space and keep it easy to run on computers like mine that are decent but not the best. Okay, we didn't almost rolled it, but we kept it together. Slow down for the step off. Gentle on the brakes, over the hill. Catch the downside. So we're gonna be strategic with when we accelerate here and try and get the whoops timed out. There we go, okay. Lap 3, going left. Until I kind of suck at driving. Oh, am I gonna have a bunch of problems on this hill again? There we go. That's probably this map. I don't know which one you're talking about. Basin Brawl might have been the third one I made. No, this is I think the third one. Basin Brawl I started after this when I ran out of ideas to do on this. Yeah, there have been a lot of changes to this since I originally uploaded it. You might be looking at a very, very outdated version. If you haven't updated your repo mods in a while, you might have a very, very old version of this on your computer. But there is a lot of stuff that has changed. It's at 0.8 in the repo right now, and since even before I started streaming, I changed a lot, and there's a lot of been changing on this stream, so it's going to be quite a bit different than it is in the repo. Try go this way this time. Oh, that's not what we wanted to do. Guess we're going in reverse now. Got my forklift certification, Haas. Forklift Glibbins. Now we'll spin it around. Alright, I think it went right the last time I was trying this out. We'll take the left line up here this time. Especially on the bomber, that shouldn't be too hard. We'll try and hug left through this next section here too, just to make sure it all still is like drivable. It's mostly trying to set this section up to trip up like the UFO and the other IFS cars, because the IFS cars are just going to be way faster literally everywhere else. So the rocks I'm trying to make very solid axle friendly and very, very difficult in IFS cars, hopefully. I know my line I usually take in the bomber, but we'll go around this way this time. We pretend there's a car stuck there we need to get around. That wasn't too bad. And we can set us up nicely to keep hugging the right side through here. Unlock the diffs for a second. Might have to do a front. Oh, there's going to be a loud thunderclap in a minute. Okay, there we go. That's not... Oh boy. Stream till I run out of power. Alright. Get on the gas a little bit. Come into this next rock section. There's two options. This is the way I tried to build for the solid axle cars. Just gonna get the front axle up and over. Once you get the front axle up and over that, I size it so the solid axle cars I've been trying. Get the front up, and you can just pull the rest of the car over, no problem. And at least on this map, I messed with the rocks a little bit, so you have even, as long as your wheels aren't spinning, you'll have a lot more grip on the rocks. Once you start like spinning your tires and doing burnouts, you lose all of your traction. And in the real world, you might be able to heat your tires up and get them nice and hot and sticky for more grip. Beam doesn't do that, so slipping your tires is a really bad way through the rocks. Coming up through here again. Just a little crack here to get over it. Put it in high range because it's a steep downhill that you need to get on the gas for to not roll the car. Alright, and here comes the road gap. Over the road and on the brakes for the cave. I think the right line's a lot easier, but we'll take this left line this time. Just gotta get the front up and then it goes right over. Come on. Don't make me do a front dig. There we go. Alright, there's the water. There's a couple ways you can do this. One is go hard right, the other is just try and straddle this crack. That seems fine. And then there's a few options about how to go about this in here. There's a crack here, there's some other stuff on the other side. It's easy enough to go through that, and then it's just kind of bouncing your way up the hill. Gentle but firm, keep momentum, and then same thing there. Just Keep some momentum, and you should be able to crawl up. So next part, you just need to get a little bit of speed until you get past the first bump, and then you're good. Now we're on to the shooter hill. So this again, it's not too bad, but up here you gotta... we're not saving that. Hit this hill with a little bit of momentum until you get up to the flat parts, and then once you get up here, it's steep, but there are flats to it, so you can take it in stages once you make it up to the first part. Or you run uphill and roll down the hill. For the sake of getting a coherent lap time, wow. I've been able to do this every other time. The second I start trying to time a lap, I have all kinds of problems, naturally. So now here I want to go a little bit more to the right. Get my ass in on the flat part right there, and then just keep creeping my way up the hill. And there we go. Again, this is nothing surprising or new. We ran this part on lap 2. The UI app, it's called Proj. I don't know if that's something that's in the repo or not. That may or may not be a free mod. I can't remember if that's I was in one of the servers I race on, had that, and I just grabbed it for single player so I could tell what I was doing. I don't know how to change it for single player, but usually in the multiplayer server it gives you like everything in whatever units you want, and now I'm getting like mixed between what is apparently wheel horsepower, and then it's giving me everything in kilograms instead of pounds, so not entirely sure what's going on with it. Okay, through that chunk of lap 3. Lap 3 is definitely going to be the longest one. There's no escaping the rocks. And down we go. Through the pipes, hopefully without breaking the steering. Pipe, and then it's all just dirt hill climb. One more pipe you can see I was doing burnouts on earlier. Up and over. And now we come into the spectator area where I thought I put a barricade, but apparently I didn't. I thought I grabbed one of these and then did this with it. Getting close to the end of lap 3 though. There's only a little bit left. Undercut pipe into some more rocks right in front of all the spectators. It's deceiving because it looks small, but if you don't straddle it right, it'll flip the car. Get on the gas a little bit, right to the next rock face, which again looks deceivingly simple, but if you get the tire placement wrong, it goes from being cakewalk to on your roof just like that. Wow. Take the optional line around it there for now. Don't know if I want to block off what I just did or not, or leave that as a line for somebody that thinks a little bit outside the box and wall rides it slightly. So, driver tire needs to go there. There we go. Probably need to go add another red flag back to the section where it drops back over there. I'll do that after I close out my full lap and get a time. That was the smoothest I've ever done that. Skip that part. You can cut down here. Brakes. Yep. 79 at the lip is happy speed. Yep, there we go. And there's the finish to log a time. Oop, okay, how far am I in? 3:15:28. So that's what? 18. It's 33 minutes with a few mistakes in it, so hour-long race is going to be just running 2 cycles of that, because I am definitely not gonna, I can't pack another twice as much driving into that one lap. So I know I needed to add a warning like right here. There we go. Now it's all packed up nicely. So, unless anybody else on the stream has ideas for stuff to add here, if I ran 33 minutes with some mistakes, it's about the time that I guess I'll end up targeting. Do 2 cycles of that for an hour-long race. Beyond just cleaning up visuals, I'm not certain what else to add to this at this point. Other than I think here was a little bit rougher than it needs to be. Try this again here. Front dig myself over. There we go. What happens if I just launch this thing going way too fast? It's only 5. Okay, 5 miles an hour too fast is probably gonna not hurt as bad as I thought. Okay then. That's gonna hurt though if you go way too fast off that. That will hurt badly. Bye-bye, front axle. I didn't need you. Now you're pointing backwards. Yay, that's the way. Your differential should really be pointing up in front of your axle, and your steering should actually just adjust your camber, really. But that's all about I've got in me, so not seeing anything else in the chat. Thanks for the people that came by to watch and give feedback on building the track. New version will be coming up soon. See everybody later if you actually watch to the end of this whole freaking stream.